You know the best person to get relationship advice from, in my opinion? A divorced person. Yep. A divorced person should be the person that everyone should get relationship advice from. And here's why. A divorced person, like myself, is the only one who's been in every single position. They understand what it feels like when you've never been married and you are looking forward to the day that you meet that person that you want to spend your life with. The anticipation, the dreams, the hopes, all of that. A divorced person understands that. They also understand what it's like to actually be married. They've walked that walk, they've been in those shoes, especially if they were married for some years. And then they know what it feels like to go through the ultimate relationship breakup, which is divorce. But there is a caveat. You cannot listen to every divorced person. You can only seek relationship advice, in my opinion, from healed divorced people. Healed, okay? Now, this is going to be a series because there's a lot I want to say about this. Just a little bit about me for those who don't know. I was married officially for about 9 years. And I have been officially divorced. Someone asked me this the other day. I didn't realize that it had been 12 years this year. It was 12 years. Man, that time has flown. But it's been a lot of life that's been lived since then. And I tell you, this is one thing I'll say about being divorced. I really feel like it was another life. I literally refer to, oh, in my old life, in my previous life, when I'm talking to family and friends, where in my previous life, da 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 da. You know, it's like a before and after, right? I know it happened. I remember everything, but it seems like I was a different person. It was a different life. So, you're talking to a divorced person, and I would say I am a healed divorced person. Now, let's talk about signs that a person is not healed, okay? A divorced person is not healed, and this is the person that I would say take their advice with a grain of salt, if at all, okay? Let's go into it. The first thing is that they jump from serious relationship to serious relationship. So as soon as they was divorced, or even before, okay, because let's talk about the rebound situations, okay? Many people try to cushion themselves, with rebounds. They don't want to feel the full brunt of that breakup. So they already have someone slid in there prior to them even fully going through it. I remember I was separated for almost 2 years. And I'm sharing these things because I want you to understand who you're talking to and who you're listening to, okay? So I was separated for almost 2 years. And, you know, it was over with for all intents and purposes. But I remember that my father was warning me about, you know, rebounds, and make sure that I don't get involved with anyone too quickly because it will seem so real. And I didn't fully listen to him because I didn't think that could be or would be my story. I didn't realize and understand how vulnerable I was and how abnormal of a state I was in. And so, needless to say, he was right. He was correct. And with the quickness, I corrected that situation. Okay. But I didn't let it go too far, but just emotionally, because sometimes even if you're not physically involved with someone, emotionally that can be just as bad, if not worse. Okay. So the thing about it is that if there's a divorced person that they just keep getting married, hello, Jennifer Lopez. I'm sorry, I would not take relationship advice from Jennifer Lopez. She seems to be a lovely person, but clearly there is something going on with her relationally where she just keeps getting married. She just keeps getting it. Like, there's a difference between dating, casually dating. And again, I am not talking about sleeping with people. I'm talking about companionship, hanging out, getting to know different people. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is a difference between that and jumping into deep relationship, serious relationship, romantic relationship, where you're just back to back before you already got another one lined up. That is a sign that it's that person is not healed. They haven't had time to get healed. Okay. The second sign that a divorced person is not healed is they're bitter. Every time they talk about their spouse or their former spouse, it's in a very negative way. The anger, the passion, the negative passion is palpable. That is a sign that they're not healed. And that's not a good thing. Because if they're talking to you, they're most likely going to be passing on that negativity, planting negative seeds in you. Here's the other thing. Sometimes it's not about them talking about the spouse. This is also a red flag if they can't talk about them at all. Like they don't even want to say their names. That's a red flag that they're not healed. A nice medium is that they're not talking about them too much, but they're not, it's not that they can't talk about them at all. They can't talk about the experience or something that happened or whatever. I knew for me personally that I was really making great progress on my healing journey when I could literally think about some things that my ex would say or do, or different experiences that we had, and I can think about it and have a laugh, something funny that happened or something that was a good experience, and I could allow myself to feel that good experience. And it was just that. That's when you know you're healed. You don't feel everything is just not shrouded by negativity or they're the enemy and all that. You're not healed if that's the way you feel. And if you encounter a divorced person that's like that, I would take their advice with a grain of salt. If I wouldn't listen at all, probably. I don't know. The next one is they haven't had nor see a need for counseling. They haven't gone to therapy. They haven't been intentional about their healing. And they actually don't even recognize that divorce is a traumatizing experience. Divorce is a traumatizing experience from which you actually do need to heal. It is also traumatizing if there's children involved. If the person is unaware that they need counseling, even if they haven't taken the time yet, the first step is being aware that they actually need it. That is a person that I probably would take anything that they said with a grain of salt when it comes to relationship advice, because they haven't gone through the process themselves. And when I talk about therapy or counseling, I'm not always just saying that it has to be a professional, but it needs to be someone with wisdom. If it's a wise elder that's in their lives that has a great reputation, that person, they're known for being wise, and that person listens to them. They're a sounding board for them. That is, to me, equivalent to professional counseling or therapy. However, I think that both is needed personally. But if the person has not gone through that and you're seeking relationship advice, I would not get it from someone who has not gone through therapy or counseling. Okay. The next one is they give clearly bad advice that shows that they haven't learned anything from their experience, from their marriage experience. If they are still making very bad choices relationally, if they just seem to not get it, if their life is not reflective of something that you would desire, you shouldn't listen to them when it comes to relationship advice. And then the last one is they take no accountability. Breakups and divorces are never, I stand 10 toes down on it, never the fault of one person. Even if the final nail in the coffin was something that one person did, it's still, if you look at the life of the relationship, it is two people that is involved, and neither person has been perfect. If the person, the divorced person, can take no accountability, they can't say one thing that they did that affected their relationship negatively, if they have not gone through that process of self-reflection to say, yeah, this is something I would change about myself the next time I'm in a relationship or the next time I get married. This is something that I want to change because this was a detriment in my relationship, or this wasn't good for us. This thing about me. If they can't do that, they're not ready to give relationship advice. Okay? Is there anything that you want to add that is a sign that somebody who is divorced is not healed? I want to talk about this because the next video, we're going to talk about some actual advice, relationship advice that I would give as a person who has been in every position relationally. I hope it helps. Leave a comment, subscribe.